Hello everyone, and welcome to another Singerreise video podcast, where we talk about the life of a working opera singer. My name is Jonathan Silvia, and I'm your host. Thanks for joining us. Welcome also to January in 2018. There's been a couple of things that have happened since the previous episode, so let me take a minute to get you all up to speed. And if you haven't seen that previous episode, make sure to check it out. It was about the Wexford Carol, and it has been one of our more popular episodes. The most obvious change is a few equipment upgrades. These were all Christmas presents to Singerreise. For example, we finally got some new lighting. This has been a huge issue. There's not a lot of natural light around here, especially during these winter months in Seattle. This room in particular can get very dark, making it hard to film. Singerreise also got a brand new camera. I should be a little more in focus from here on, thanks to some generous gifts from Singerreise fans. Do bear with me though, as it will take a little bit of time to figure out all of the new settings. This of course more than doubles my setup and teardown time for filming, and it also adds some time to my editing. But the upgrade in video quality should be pretty noticeable. The other major announcement is that Singerreise has just reached its second funding goal at patreon.com. Now that we're over $150 per month, I can finally engage a professional website developer to revamp the Singerreise.com website. This means that I can finally get away from that blogger website that I've been using thus far, with its limited templates and numerous bugs. I can also finally get that Singerreise store that I've been talking about these last several weeks. With that, I can make just a little bit more income. And with a little bit more income, I can continue carving out all of this time for Singerreise week after week. The next funding goal on Patreon is $250 per month. And we're already pretty close to that too. So, if you've been meaning to be more generous to artists, now's a great time. I'm pretty active on Patreon, so head there and check out what's been going on. The website name is patreon.com/Singerreise. So head there, and while you're there, please consider becoming a patron. Okay, enough with the announcements. It's time to get back into the swing of things, and that means getting back into Winterreise. It is winter, after all. We're now into the last quarter of Winterreise, today looking at number 19 in Schubert's song cycle. This one is entitled Täuschung, meaning illusion. The title is a little bit of a spoiler though. Sorry about that. At the start, it looks like our friend the Irrlicht is back. Irrlicht was a will-o'-the-wisp. It was the main topic of discussion in song number 9, which was titled, crazily enough, Irrlicht. That song was a ghost story, with the wanderer following an eerie light every which way, into the deepest crevices of the earth and even into the grave itself. It's a pretty fantastical journey, and you can witness it yourself by watching episode 18 of Singerreise. Just tap in Irrlicht Singerreise into YouTube and you should be able to find it. Here in Täuschung, however, that little light is far more inviting and playful. It's dancing before the wanderer, and he follows it rather cheerfully. The music, for the most part, follows the playfulness of the light. It's in a jaunty 6/8 time, and it sounds rather like a dance. Also, in the more well-lit sections of the piece, there's some ornamentation in the vocal line. Schubert uses both the appoggiatura and the acciaccatura, for those of you who have done your Vakai homework. That vocal ornamentation does make it a little tricky to sing. It will limit how fast the piece can go. It also can't be sung too heavily. It has to have this weightless feeling to it. After all, we are talking about light, a thing without substance. Following the light seems far more pleasant to the wanderer than staying in his current position. He calls his own existence elend, which means pathetic or wretched. Naturally, at this point in the text, the music switches to minor and the vocal ornamentation goes away. Just as a side note, there's this thing in the piano part that I just don't understand. The entire right hand, seriously, the entire thing from beginning to end, is nothing but parallel unison octaves. I have no idea what this means, and so I would really appreciate your comments. Maybe after hearing the piece, you might have an interpretation as to what this all means. I do know that playing those parallel octaves can be pretty nasty to an accompanist's hands, particularly if the accompanist has small hands. That wound up limiting how much time we could spend rehearsing this piece. Choosing between staying put and following the light is an easy choice. Now the wanderer knows that the light is only a ruse, but hey, at least it's a colorful ruse, der bunten List. However, the light does lead him through some pretty dark places, through the ice, night, and fear, or in German, Eis und Nacht und Graus. I love that because German capitalizes all of the nouns in its language, and because all of these are single-syllable words, this phrase almost takes on a character of its own. It's as if these three words were pounding the same message into the wanderer over and over and over again. Eis und Nacht und Graus, Eis und Nacht und Graus. Repeat after me, Eis und Nacht und Graus. All day, every day, the same old thing. Eis und Nacht und Graus. And there's not even an Oxford comma in there to break up the monotony. Past all these, the light shows him a bright, warm house, the exact opposite of everything he just went through. I like to think that the light was maybe the light of a fireplace that was flickering down across the sheets of ice and splaying out in multiple colors. And by that fireplace, eine liebe Seele, or a loving soul. And that's when the wanderer knows that he's been had. A loving soul? That can't be real. Not for our wanderer. You can almost see him throw his hands up at this point and say, "The jig is up!" He thought he could win this time, but no. The only time that he ever wins is when it's an illusion, a Täuschung. If you want to find out more about the life of a working opera singer, check out our website, Singerreise.com. There you'll find articles and resources all about singing and about Schubert's masterpiece, Winterreise. You can also follow us at facebook.com/Silvia. Be sure to like the page and like and share any of those comments. Sharing is particularly important because Facebook has some algorithms, and those algorithms prevent the Facebook page from being seen by others unless the posts are being shared. So I advise that you check out the page and make sure to share the stuff that you like on there. You can also follow us at twitter.com/Singerreise. Make sure to follow that @Singerreise user handle there. And of course, presently you are watching the Singerreise YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to that before you go and set your notifications so that you get email updates every time a new video is released. Finally, there is patreon.com/Singerreise. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, but Patreon is the main funding mechanism that keeps Singerreise going from week to week to week. Singerreise is very expensive to maintain, so I hope that you'll check out that Patreon page and maybe become a patron. Patronage is very welcome, very supported, and I do what I can to make it worth your while by giving freebies like bonus videos, bonus audio, and that sort of thing. Patrons were treated to samples of the before and after camera viewings with the new camera, for example. I hope that you enjoyed this upcoming performance. Thanks to my patrons for their support, and thanks to everybody for watching.